Hello. Hello. We're live.
Hello.
Play some Yu-Gi-Oh, I think.
Oh yeah.
Better time to enter. I apologize if
Play some
the
Yu-Gi-Oh.
webcams are slightly uh, shifted. I created some
Oh yeah, they are.
some new
Yeah, I can oh, maybe I should stay
things.
centered. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. I'm trying some like why can't I just like move this? I'm trying some new stuff out, and part of that I had to like copy and paste everything and just hope the parameters like worked, but it kind of does. Ben is loud. Well, I can turn that down.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, we're good. I mean, we usually set this up like fairly last minute, but it should be better now. I think
Let me
so.
test.
Yeah, it looks
How is
like
it?
you're about the same wavelength as mine, and then we can jump to the dual screen here.
Oh yeah.
With this also brand new that wipe you just saw, so that's exciting. I'll fix this up. They don't make Streamlabs easy.
Yeah,
Oh,
I actually, pulling behind the curtain on my own streams, I actually don't use Streamlabs. I just use OBS and YouTube because I'm like I don't know how to handle that program. Too much for me.
I like Streamlabs. It's just like there's like a couple specific things. I'm like, this could be ever so slightly better. I could probably even. I want to adjust
I'm a
mine
simple
while.
man. I can only have one stream capture program up at a time, and I overload if I've got too many.
Okay. Now let me just change this text because we are not in critter format. We are actually going to be playing some Perfect Circle today. This is essentially our three-part in our testing of like the dual format. So if y'all enjoy it, certainly let me know or let us know, and I might put up a poll tomorrow, just kind of re-gauging how people are feeling about it. So it should go one way or another.
That was intense.
Honestly,
Scissors into rock into.
I wasn't
Oh,
even paying attention. I was just clicking away. That's how you
I
do
was
it.
focusing. I was locked in on the mind games. I was like, okay, Janjo went scissors rock, so now he might be expecting that I go rock, so he might throw paper, but he might be expecting that I'm expecting that, so he'll throw scissors. And it didn't work out for me, but it was fun.
So I really enjoy Perfect Circle format. It's probably my top 5 favorite formats, at least like ones I actively enjoy going back to playing. Um, and I felt like it was a good middle ground between playing the more complicated Meadowlands and the more simpler critter format. Also, Lee, what's up? New Dark Magician Mirror Force cards, Shining Sarcophagus is kind of cool. Yeah, I really like that Shining Sarcophagus stuff. It needs a reprint like yesterday, even though it's not that old. But I'm like, I don't want to pay $15 for a Shining Sarcophagus, and it's probably gonna
That's how
only
they
go
get
up.
you.
But it's cool though. I really like how they adapted like this almost like a Yugi archetype for the TCG. Like I think that's really dope, especially based around Shining Sarcophagus, which Golden Sarcophagus, that was like the big prize card around Perfect Circle format, I believe.
Yeah,
I do believe it was. I believe it was after Crush card, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. Is it legal in Perfect Circle, or is it like
It,
just
it,
this right
yep,
before it?
it is. Actually, I think it was available a couple formats because I believe it's limited in Perfect Circle.
Hmm.
I am going to discard. This will give my plan away. Neospace
Oh,
Pathfinder to search for
okay.
a Neospace. So the topic for today is not quite as fun as Perfect Circle format, but it's an interesting topic, and that is the end of Yu-Gi-Oh. Not like the anime per se, but like more of the TCG, because we saw these videos of people being like, oh well, when does is this the end of like the TCG is done for? It's such a big decline. But it's like, what does the end like actually look like? Like, is it just going to be like a slow burn to the heat death of the universe, or is it just going to be a part where Konami's like, you know what, similar speed duels, maybe like we're going to take a break for a bit. I mean, which that would be surprising, I think.
Yeah, I do think, one, we're discussing this because it would be interesting, but it's not necessarily that either of us thinks that the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG is on like the cusp of this happening soon, right? Like, you know, people are saying like, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh's dying and stuff, but they've been saying that for quite some time, and I think honestly, the game is, regardless of Fiendsmith Snake Eye stuff, I think the game is in a pretty good place overall. I mean, you still have hype stories happening, like Ancient Gear doing like somewhat well at the NAWCQ happening recently. A lot more interest in retro formats with like Edison popping off and all that stuff. So I do think that the game is in a good spot right now. But this is more like looking to the future, like what would it be like if it did, eventually die, and also what would be the things leading up to that.
Hmm.
And I think it's oh, Panther. That's a fun one. I feel like that back row can't be anything to protect the Panther. The Panther can stand up for itself.
G Lamb says, I think Konami ruining current Yu-Gi-Oh to the point of no return is a when and not an if. However, I think retro Yu-Gi-Oh and an appreciation for nostalgia, the anime, the manga, etc., will never die. I mean,
I will say, like, if let's say the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG ever does sort of die, yep, that's what it is. That's what it's all about. So it's 1,500 or more. It's just that, and you don't get to snipe anything outside of my hand right now, but you get to see the hand. So.
Solomon of Dust. Oof.
Yeah. But that worked out well for you. But I do think that, like, even if the TCG does, like, quote unquote die, I think there will be retro interest in it, and people will continue to play it. And we've got enough of a fan base out there that, I think that Dueling Book could last for quite some time. Maybe after the TCG dissolves, whoever runs it will just be like, well, it was a good run while it lasted, but it's time to end this too. But I think that something will rise up to replace it. I think there will be ways to play it online, and if there isn't, you can also play it in person with your friends. You can proxy cards if you really need to, if cards become scarce enough because they're no longer being printed. But I think that, like, it will survive as long as we are here as a fan base to continue playing it.
Yeah, I mean, we see, like, with the Rush duels, right? It's just a way to, like, reinvigorate the game, give it, like, a fresh push. I do wonder why we haven't seen that in the TCG yet. Why it's just been like a Japanese only thing, but they're really pushing for it. And I feel like that's more of a healthy sign than anything else. I think at the point where they start to like, if they decide they want to go like all into that, yo Valuta, what's up? If they want to go into that and just cancel like the old TCG altogether, like the old OCG, that would be a really like, whoa, what's going on here? Kind of like big corporate decision. If they got these big suits in that, like, I don't care about Takahashi's original stuff. Give me this whole thing.
And I mean, to be fair, Konami is not necessarily a company that people view as like a bastion of reason and logic when it comes to these things, right? Like, people do say that it is, not the best company in the world, for some good reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, they could do that potentially. But I like to believe that I think the game is still relatively profitable for them. And I mean, I think that's what it comes down to, the profits. I think it's much easier just like coasting on an IP and a framework for the game that already has proven successful like multiple years in a row for a very long time, rather than just you know about it anyways, but I'll just go for the dust. Rather than just trying to start something completely new. Yeah, I figured it wasn't anything new.
Yo, history of Yugioh, what's up?
But just an econ here.
Okay, so yeah, so Crush Card has its original effect, not this like edited effect, and that's I'll put a counter on this. That's why I'm leaving it up. So believe it's 3
Is
turns.
it your end phases or is it my end phases?
I can look it up real quick.
Yeah, just I guess I could look it up too. That's always the thing that trips me up, the turn counting off the crush card.
Yeah, let's see here.
But,
Richard, until the end of your opponent's 3rd turn after this card's activation. Okay.
The end of your opponent's 3rd turn after.
Okay, so it would add a counter during the previous turn then.
Okay, that first turn does count as part of it.
Tribute 1 dark monster with 1k or less attack. Check all your opponent's monsters in your hand and all cards you draw until the end of your opponent's 3rd turn after this card's activation. Throw all monsters with 15 or more attack.
So the question is, like, does it mean the 3rd end of turn after this card's activation, or the end of the 3rd turn, if that makes sense, right? Because, like, you activate on my turn, so then... I do think this segues interestingly into one of my sort of thinking points about this, where, you know, people point to the complexity of the game, and they're like, the complexity of the game is ruining the game, and eventually it will reach a point where it's so complex that no one can get into it. But I'd say that Yu-Gi-Oh has been complex since the beginning. I mean, here we are going back and forth about a really old card, you know, from, you know, arguably the DM era, you know, almost, right? Given like how long it's been in the anime and stuff. And I don't know if in the OCG it was released in the DM era or if it was released in the GX era, but it definitely is like a lot older than a lot of people give it credit for. And it is very confusing. And so that makes it somewhat interesting here to think about.
Yeah, I can't find rulings on Yugipedia. I mean, it says, you know, until the end of your opponent's 3rd turn. It's like this card activated, so the end would be the end of like the turn after it was activated, right? So
this would be the first turn that it's counting then, or
so what's up, Kevin? We're just trying to figure out crush card flavors.
It's a very confusing card. You know, it's funny. We said Perfect Circle is sort of a midpoint between Critter and Meadowlands in terms of complexity. Maybe it's actually much more complex than everything else. But I mean, I don't think it will matter too much in this game, and you know, maybe that maybe just points to my game plan or not.
Yeah, it feels like it should be when this is pre-errata, Frederick. Yeah, first turn. Kevin says first turn is at the end of the opponent's turn after card activation.
Okay, turn after. So this will be the first turn then, right?
Okay, sure. Yeah. I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, well, the end of the end of Yu-Gi-Oh is when you have to check rulings on every single card played. There's no generic cards left in the game.
Yeah. That's what we're getting to eventually. The game plan's a bit weird here. I'm just gonna set 1, set 2, pass back to you, and I gotta hope.
Okay, what about an emergency call?
Oh, okay, yeah, sure, go for it. I don't like it, but you know, go for it. But you know, rulings is another thing too, where like people point to it where they're like, oh, you know, it's not as clear as like Magic Gathering or Pokemon stuff in its rulings, so it could be an issue for people. But I mean, I don't know. I think those games also have a lot of issues with those sorts of rulings. It's just that in the discussion, in the context of like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff, people don't point out the confusing things that can happen in MTG and Pokemon. And those games are still doing fine as well.
Yeah, like Yu-Gi-Oh is one of the rare ones that has lasted decades, right? Like there's a lot of card games that either don't or you know, like I don't know, the Neopets card game or games that like like that they start and they stop and they start sometime down the road, like One Piece or Digimon, or have the whole new kind of revelation going on, like with Duel Masters. Like Yu-Gi-Oh is kind of in that weird spot where like it's one of the odd ones, like all things considered, with a lot of card games just along the lines of like a Pokemon and Magic. Um, and Yu-Gi-Oh's even weird because it has like all these like vastly alternate formats, like speed duels and rush duels, and it's really rare. Like they just completely just crash. I mean, speed duels is kind of a weird case because that felt more like an experiment than anything else, or like Dungeon Dice monsters. But a lot of this comes down to Konami not putting much effort into it. And I feel like the opposite is true with something like Rush Duel, where they seem like, at least overseas, they are doing as much effort as they can to kind of push that. So we have different ways to experience the game and different ways people can enter and play Yu-Gi-Oh! For beginners, for experienced people alike.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting too because like, in some ways not having alternate formats is definitely rough for us, right? Um, oh, I need to mill here. But I will say, I'm just getting all the non
Oh
crush
my
card
god,
targets in the deck. Let's
Crush
go.
cards
Uh,
sucks. Horrible card.
yeah, you heard it here first, folks. But I do think that not having alternate formats can be a good thing for just filtering people into the advanced format, right? And like, a lot of people don't necessarily want to hear that, especially in this crowd, because it's like basically it's an alt format crowd largely, right? Um, but is the attack good?
Yeah. Wait, I'm confused what you're doing.
I'm just attacking Morello into Warrior Lady. It can
Wait.
negate.
Well, it has an effect at the end of the
Yeah,
battle
eventually.
phase. I'm like, why? It's weaker.
You can banish it
what
if you
is
want.
if this was tagged? You can shuffle it. If it was tagged or was that you can shuffle into the deck for someone glad from your deck, except for Mermo. Oh, so it tags out into something.
Yeah, I can't get Mermillo with this, so I can't pop the Warrior Lady. So
Yeah, go for it. Yo, Halfar, what's up? Interesting topic with an incredible sick format. Absolutely. I mean, when we're talking about formats, I'm like, I want to do Meadowlands because I was doing a lot of Meadowlands stuff. And it was like after that, I was like, all right, Critter or Perfect Circle. We just end up picking Critter, and then I'm like, well, we'll do PC, which is one of the most underrated formats, in my opinion.
yeah, I think PC is very good.
Yeah, it's just GX is just so. And this guy, when he can
He
pop.
pops a spell trap.
Oh no. I can't chain anything really with that.
Yeah, not effectively, but you did put me in an awkward spot. So
Yeah, PC is like definitely peak GX. Even though like there's a few formats after it. It's still like I think it's like the culmination of everything GX was kind of like aiming for without going too like jumping the shark with it.
yeah, I like PC a lot. I also think I might have misplayed the last trip, but it is what it is. I went all in on that strategy, but sometimes that doesn't necessarily get you where to go. I think if I'd summoned out Hoplomus instead of Mermill, I would have been able to pop the Warrior Lady, but you would have been more likely to banish with that. So I don't know. I also maybe thought that Darius was in this format when it's not. So I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I can't just go into Heraclinos.
This is very
those two.
Yeah, this is very bare bones glad. Like we don't have Geyseris yet.
Yeah.
Which was like the thing that tied it all together, really.
Yeah, I do think Darius also is underrated because Darius enabling the fusions is like really good. Just being able to bring back one from grave and going like all in on that. So yeah, I like Darius. But
the question is, do I want to banish one?
That's the question.
Yeah, Xavier Wolf.
To decide that
what's up? Because like I don't remember the fusion. Like the fusions are just like generic, right?
I can show you the fusions.
Glad. Because it's just.
So this one, and then this one's the important one, Heraclinos.
Yeah, Heraclinos is the one like you normally see. Lucarian 2.
Another point to when people point to like, oh, this will end the game and stuff, and this ties into this instance is like when there are enough decks that do enough different things and they're all viable that you can't really wrap your head around all of them all at once. Um, so like for instance, if I was playing this deck against you and I wasn't just like, yeah, let me show you what the fusion monsters are and what they do and stuff, and is like sort of the big boss monsters of my deck, then you might be at a major disadvantage to this. And a lot of people find tournaments frustrating when that happens because they're like, well, I can't prepare for every single thing under the sun unless I devote my life to the game, right? And I don't want to necessarily devote my entire life to the game, learn all the different things the decks can do. Um, so that's another thing that people point to for like sort of something that they don't like in the modern game that could cause people to leave. But I personally like that aspect of it. I think that it's better than it's not.
Banish the quarry.
So, yeah. Figured that would happen, unfortunately.
Okay, yeah, something that makes me wonder. It's like we have all these tiers. Fucking dimensional prison. Like we have
hits off crush card. Love to see it. That was the third turn, I think.
Yeah, Deep Prison is like the weirdest thing because it was like at the very end of the format. I think it was released in like that December. Which I mean, you could even argue if crush card is legality. I would even argue potentially. Deep Prison, yeah, that's fine. But like it makes me think of like tier 0 formats, how a lot of them people are like, oh, this is kind of bad, or this is like killing the game, and like some of it could possibly be true. But even ones that like last a long time, like do we necessarily like would it get to like if the Konami never changed anything for like a tier 0 format, would that actually end the game? Like would that drive off enough people to the point where like Konami's like put up or shut up?
Yeah, and I feel like probably not. How greedy do I go here? I think the answer is very, very greedy.
Yeah, this deck isn't making me very glad. But Secutor. I remember this card because the Gladiator's Assault print is really bad. That's a dead card.
Honestly, I think Secutor is generally not the best glad. I don't normally like it. I just basically took this list off Format Library, which is a great resource, and also having resources like Format Library enables Yu-Gi-Oh to survive potentially even if it does die at some point in the future. So as I mentioned earlier, I think the infrastructure is still there for us to continue playing. But I think that like as long as the game is a game, right, and not just, I think the one thing that maybe would kill Yu-Gi-Oh is if in the future it just turns into FTK nonsense with no point of interaction whatsoever, and that's all there is, and Konami never hits that stuff. That might kill Yu-Gi-Oh in the future. But I do think that like the modern game as is, there are a surprising number of points of interaction, which a lot of people don't necessarily give it the credit for, which I understand why, because it's different forms of interaction than you're used to playing something like Perfect Circle. But I think there is enough interaction there to keep the game, still moving a bit.
Is Perfect Circle even viable in Perfect Circle format? Yeah, Perfect Circle is still like really good. It's just it's essentially good stuff. Deck. What's killing the game are the outrageous price of cards and the lack of accessibility. I mean, that's the big thing right now. But we see it comes in waves, right? Like you could say same thing during like Teledat format, right? Which was like 15 years ago at this point, and the game's still going on.
Yeah, and budget decks are available, like Tempai. Tempai is a budget deck that I know is pretty popular. And so like, I'm not trying to argue that like, oh, Konami's right for doing this stuff, where, we shouldn't worry about what they're doing because the pricing thing, that's not a big deal whatsoever, because it definitely is a big deal in my opinion. But I do also think that like, as long as there are budget options, that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. Like I know it sounds bad to say, but there will always be that sort of economy in the game, in my opinion, in the TCG. I know the OCG has a much better economy, but let's face it, we're in America. America is generally a bit more greedy with its corporate shenanigans than Japan is.
I don't think this gets its effect off.
Yeah, it does not, because it has to be at the start of the damage.
Yeah, it's not damage calc.
Later. Do you want to leave it? Do you want to go back and summon an attack?
No, I was probably gonna set it. Like I was thinking about it because I'm pretty sure like I already like I knew that would work that way. So I'm like I know I'm pretty sure that's a D prison, and it's like if I bounce stuff, I'm like that's not doing anything at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I will say I think you know for sure it's a D prison because you knew my hand was D prison morphing jar, and then I said
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm just better off just like taking like trying to prevent some damage with it by setting it than trying to get its effect off.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. And then at the end of the battle phase, let's just start tagging these things out.
I'm getting wrecked.
You want to know the fun thing too is that Secutor doesn't actually um, tag out; it stays on field. Oh, do I only have one of that? Oh, that's awkward.
Oh, interesting.
Well, yeah, I only have one.
At the end of any battle phase.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a tricky card there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I messed up with how I did this, but it's fine. It's fine. I forgot that one of the Lucari was banished, but I can still do the play I want to do, where I'm going to in main 2, contact fuse some of these guys together.
We're both playing contact fuse decks.
Exactly. It's poetic. Although unfortunately for you, this might be kind of rough for you to. No, not 2400 attack. Sorry.
Heraclinos. He can discard to negate a back row. Fun.
Yep. Which is not terrible. So,
buddy, you got a Hercules and a hippopotamus. All right, that's.
I'm honestly surprised this deck was able to play through crush cards, but I guess it makes sense because you can tag out into the other ones.
I'm gonna lose anyway, but ancient rules.
Yeah, sorry, I gotta pitch. I can't let that go through.
Yeah, that's game.
Yeah, sorry.
I thought I put 2 out of 3, but maybe I didn't.
Yeah, well, we can just do the 2 out of 3 here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will also say, I think one of the things that keeps the game alive, and I know there's a bit of a controversial topic, but I think that honestly, the retro support for just anime archetypes, even if they're not really that good, I think it keeps the game alive because there's always a temptation for people to play those archetypes, right? And I think that is very important for the game overall. Of course, there are some people out there who are like, oh, they're doing another wave of Dark Magician support, and instead of giving us an actual viable fun deck to play, and I respect that opinion as well. But I do think, like in terms of the survival of the game, it is very good, and also it's fun to play around with it sometimes.
So. Yeah, I mean, we did just get that that new Dark Magician card that like can kind of work with Dark Magician, but like works even better with the Shining Sarcophagus, which they're like really pushing. And it's like one of those decks where I can definitely see like it hit like meta viability. So it's like there's also decks throughout Yugioh's history that like they are cheap and affordable early on, but then like something comes out and all of a sudden they're like busted and playable. Saw with prank kids kind of recently. Some of the Snake Eye stuff was relatively cheap, like really early on. Like I think it was like the Flamberge Dragon or whatever it was. And like that's just it's hard to know. Like Yu-Gi-Oh kind of rewards you for just buying.
Yeah, and it's also tricky too because like that's how they get you sometimes. Sometimes they release an archetype that's somewhat subpar and relatively cheap to pick up. So then people will pick it up and they'll be like, "Oh, this is actually kind of fun. I like this deck. I'm attached now." And then they'll release good support for it. And it's like, "Oh, I'm attached to this deck. I really want to get that new support, even though it's like $500 for the card, right?" And it's just kind of unfortunate that it works out that way, but it is unfortunately how it goes,
Yeah, like there's a lot of like decks I think it'd be fun to play, but it's also like the kind of stuff I'm like I don't even really play Modern anyway, but like I see certain decks, I'm like, damn, I kind of want to pick a deck up, even though I know I'm not gonna play it. Like Shining Sarcophagus, the Millennium Exodia stuff that just clearly speaks to me, and like other stuff like that. So like I totally get, um, that's like that kind of mindset. 'Cause like people who play competitively, like that's what they're into, right? Like they're gonna play a deck, and
Yeah.
then they might like they're gonna want that to last for a while so they can keep playing that. And that's what Konami ultimately wants. I mean, it's part of it. Um,
I
and
wanted that.
and it's like okay, fair enough. Where if they made it like easier for people all the time, then it'd be there's an argument for both um like ways of it. I think the main thing is just like reprinting a little bit more often would be
Yeah.
nice because like who's this? Because like is Snake Eyes gonna kill Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't think so. Like, would there actually be a deck or an archetype that would like legitimately stop like everyone from playing? And I think the competitive people will always be there as long as there is a competitive scene.
Yeah, and I feel like honestly, to me, just looking at the course of Yu-Gi-Oh history, I feel like it goes in cycles, where you have these very very expensive formats where the top deck is very very powerful and stuff, but a lot of people are priced out of the game, but the most competitive people buy the deck, play it, and a lot of times they're like, oh yeah, this format's pretty good if you get the top deck, and I'm enjoying it right now and stuff, and then later Konami like hits that deck into the ground, makes a super diverse format that a lot of competitive players don't necessarily like as much. And then, so the competitive players are a bit less happy, but the more casual players or the people who like to cook up deck ideas and stuff like that, they're more happy. Um, and so you go through different waves with that sort of thing, because like then after that, then it turns into a more competitive format and stuff like that. So like, I do think that it's just the natural, sort of cycle of the game, and eventually we'll, I don't know if eventually we'll hop off that cycle or if something else will happen, but I think in general, we're in a pretty good spot. Um,
Yo, Lead Lover, what's up? Oh, Lead Lover, you might. I know we were talking about this last week on the Janjo live. I did start watching Hunter x Hunter.
ooh, Hunter x Hunter is great. Uh,
Yeah,
hope you enjoy it.
yeah. I'm still in like the first arc. I did watch the first episode of the like '90s anime, like but Lead Lover suggested, and then started the 2011. And I gotta say, man, I might have to go back at some point and watch the '90s one because that '90s anime aesthetic, mwah, it's beautiful. You
Yeah, I think
can
you
you
can't go wrong
cannot
with either.
you cannot beat that like '90s like anime vibe. But I've been liking,
Yeah,
yeah, they're what the
I'm just switching it to defense.
okay.
But yeah, Hunter x Hunter is great. One of my favorites, I think.
Yeah. You could say the end of Yu-Gi-Oh was a couple years ago on the beach, but dark humor.
Oh yeah, you could. Oh wow. Jeez, I was like, oh no, oh no.
Oh,
Uh,
yes.
oh, speaking of oh no, I don't like how you switched that guy to attack. It's a bit scary for
I
me.
don't know if I even wanted to, but eh.
I mean, I will say the Glad Beasts just like sort of, they run into a defense pitch monster and they're like free special summons from deck. So I think that makes sense, but I don't think it bodes well for my quarry.
Yeah, 2100s is like it's definitely annoying.
Mm.
Uh I would say I'm starting to see an issue with this deck, but also we're purposely playing like relatively bad decks. I mean, I guess more so me, really
Yeah,
than
I mean,
anything.
I looked through Format Library's coverage of the Perfect Circle tournaments, and I looked for decks that are a bit more jank. They still managed to top, but I'm also like I played Perfect Circle a little bit in the past, but this is really my first time coming back to it in quite some time. So I'm like, well, that maybe in the hands of a great pilot they're really good, but probably in my hands they're a bit iffy.
Hmm.
Um, so hopefully that balances things out a bit. Um, but
Mm,
yeah, I am in a bit of a rough spot here.
I think I know what I need to do, but I don't like it.
Ooh,
Uh,
not sure if I should like hearing
just
that.
because I
Or...
don't know what that face down is. That's like the more annoying thing, honestly.
That's always the fear. Like I had to play first turn where I could have done book the alias and then attack with Murmillo and just do that. But I was like, well, if that back row is something, I can't do that. I just got to set Reaper. And then you snipe the book, and I was like, ooh, I wanted that book for later.
Probably shouldn't have changed alias to attack mode because I'm like, do I even want
You
an
can
attack
take it
mode?
back. This is not like, super
Mm.
serious.
Like I just use
gaming
its
here.
effect because I'm like, well, I guess I'm not normal summoning this like that last turn.
Yeah, might as well. And then if you draw into a Neospatian, you get contact fusion into something. So um, that's pretty good.
Yeah, unfortunately, if I only had a Spatian. Like I feel like his effect should have been like this becomes like a elemental hero and a Neospatian card.
I feel like what it should have been is it becomes Elemental Hero Neos and gains the stats of Elemental Hero Neos as well. So
Yeah,
its attack goes up to 2,500 or something.
like he's great with like the Gemini support and stuff like, and that's why I run Ancient Rules pretty much just for Neos and even Common Souls. Like I feel like Common Soul like needed to have like a dual functionality
Do you
to get
play
out.
Fake Hero as well?
I don't believe I'm running Fake Hero in this build.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, with Ancient Rules, you don't really need it. So,
I will Breaker and pop the
Breaker.
back row.
Sure. I was really hoping you'd bring out a Contact Fusion so that I could just solemn the Contact Fusion. That would be disastrous.
I wish. And that's all I can do.
Now, I do not like that set card there. I think it's a bit scary. So I'm just going to get rid of it.
Yeah, fair enough. It was kind of sort of a bluff, kind of more of an an investment bluff, kind of. Like it's a bluff now, but it could.
I'm just gonna hit into Alias, and this is a decision. Do I tag out into Murmillo and pop the breaker?
Which, by the way, the drink for today is Gatorade Zero, berry flavored.
Ooh, got that big Gatorade sponsorship.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pass though. I don't think I don't okay. Bring out Murmillo is cute, but like then you just run out another monster and hit over it. And I figure like the Quarry deals with it eventually.
I wish I had any sponsor. No.
Well, we may be in similar spots. You know.
Yeah, Frederick. No. It is not mandatory. It says you can shuffle into the deck. He was asking if Glads were mandatory.
That would be very interesting if they were. It would be interesting from like design perspective, because then there would be instances where like you'd build your deck differently to like adjust the ratios, so that way like you always have a good one to go into. But oh yeah,
I was going to do this last turn, but I'm like, that back row is like it's got to be something, and I'm like, I think
it's fine.
Yeah, I was like I can waste a turn. We'll figure it out.
Like, if you think about the card advantage, like it's basically like you're just making 1-for-1 trades each turn, and I think that's pretty good overall.
Mm-hmm.
It does get a little bit punished when I do this.
Yeah,
but,
I consider setting stuff. I'm like, I'd rather just have a wider option of like potential things that could get discarded.
Yeah, buffer. I'm just gonna. I don't bother with no dice roll, and I'm like, it's random enough.
Set my Neos.
Honestly, probably better for you. It's in graveyard, maybe. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure the graveyard revival.
If I had call on the field.
Yeah, well, that would have been pretty good. But yeah, I mean, the rough thing is that like you can now just get in for some damage here. That's for me.
Oh my god, the stack.
Yeah, I like that.
So hot take: Neospatians in Perfect Circle are pretty bad.
That is a hot take.
I think
I was gonna.
This Neospatian archetype, I don't know. This might be the end of Yu-Gi-Oh as we know it.
Yeah, I mean, just can't compete with the other stuff that came before, like Monarchs, and they released a new Monarch support card, Ryza, that's just so broken. and really catapults the deck to top
Light
tier.
and Darkness Dragon negates how many times in a turn?
I mean, it's bogus. 2,800 attack.
Oh my
too.
god.
Like, how am I supposed to deal with that?
And Crush Card Virus is legal?
Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh's over.
Oh my
Yu-Gi-Oh's
god.
over. I'm calling it now.
Future Fusion? You got that Chimera Tech stuff going on? Yeah. Slow
It's just over.
Death.
It's all over, dude.
You sent my Neo Space.
Get it out of here. I don't want your Neo Fusion sticking around.
Got kind of something, I guess. I don't know. Prima.
What's your target?
I guess Neos.
So you'll get to see a bit of what I was.
Oh, is it Crow? It is Crow. No, no.
Get it out of here.
Oh no. I mean Cyber Dragon. I target Cyber Dragon.
Oh, darn it! I messed up.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you said Cyber Dragon. Well.
Oh no.
No, I'm not gonna do that preemptively, but the more casual game, I'm fine showing you what I bricked on because I was sitting on those crows and I was like, oh, it's not the best. Maybe I should have sided those out, but you know they came up here, so that's what matters.
I might as well just set screw it. Yeah, I got like
I think that's fine.
I'm showing my hand. Like Neo Space. It's like
so
it's needed, but it's rough.
One of the great things about modern Yu-Gi-Oh is that like it really does a lot better of a job making its archetypes than early Yu-Gi-Oh did.
Actually, I don't know if Alias gets the Neo Space buff. That's why I wasn't.
It does, but yeah. But
does it? Because it's.
Not based.
Once you use its. Oh, once you use its. You have to use its Gemini effect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Once you normal summon it again, it
does,
because then it becomes Neos.
You can tell I don't play this deck much, and this also like I think it's technically my second iteration like I've built of it, but I mean, clearly there have been misplays.
I mean, I'm not sure necessarily misplays. It's just like the deck is rough. It's like Neos is a brick. Also, if you do go into the fusion monster, it like requires so much resources of you. It's just rough. I mean, it's not terrible, but I do think that Glad Beast is probably a bit strictly better than it. Although you almost got me game one. Game one, I was in a really bad spot. Like, I was down really bad.
Yeah, the problem with the Spatian is that they need so many pieces to like do a single combo with, and even that's like really fragile if you don't have like even more pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, so it's just rough. Especially like Gods is a bit more of an aggressive deck. This version can't really be as aggressive because it can't really. It just doesn't really have all the options to go into. Like this version of the deck that I'm playing is playing like multiple Murmillos, multiple Hiplomuses, and those are like relatively weaker. But once it stabilizes, it can be very annoying to deal with.
Do I activate this card? This is either like gonna like end the game or not, and I don't know. For me, it either make me lose or it doesn't make me lose.
Activate Heavy Storm. Do it. I dare you.
I'll see if anyone.
These
are my other sets. This is your Yu-Gi-Oh puzzle for today. I'm in a very rough spot.
Yeah, it's just tricky. I also have two unknowns, or I guess one of the cards in my hand is another DD Crow because I showed it for the comedy. But
yeah,
I think the only graveyard revival is like pre-mat call in this format. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I think there technically is like a I think there's like a hero revival, but I'm not playing it.
Oh, like Hero Blast or something.
Something. I'm just gonna heavy.
Ooh, yeah, I'll let that go through.
TT Solid. I figured there's gotta be something.
Yeah, I did have some stuff there, but I'm like, okay, you got one card left. Oh, that's a pretty good card. That's a pretty good card to have left. I will be honest.
Except it's like, what do I even? pick.
I think Warrior Lady cleans up the Laquari, but yeah, it is a bit awkward, for sure.
Yeah, like Warrior Lady, Alias can't get the job done. Pathfinder
Yeah.
can't get the job done.
Is Exiled in this format? You could do Exiled as well.
I don't think he's
Um,
in my current build.
hmm.
Yeah, I guess I gotta. I don't think there's any
Yeah.
better option.
You do what you gotta do.
Rhoda
You
for
know?
Sidra. You know it.
Yeah. That would be pretty powerful. Aside from just a warrior at heart, you know?
Yeah, it's has that warrior spirit.
Yeah. Oh, I should have asked if you wanted to banish.
Yeah, I've got.
But I figured you know you might.
Yeah, like I don't think you like we're playing Perfect Circle form. We're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, like is it speaking of Sidra? Like I think
Yeah.
it only ends when just people stop playing it. You know, like even if they
Exactly.
stop like making products and whatnot, it's like sure, but you know, like for example, I was at my local card shop today. I wasn't planning on it, but um, I got a because yesterday I was there and I got some. I'm gonna try out the One Piece card game because I'm kind of curious
Ooh.
about it. So I picked up a few decks, and then I opened one of the decks, and so the One Piece card game works. Like one of the main things of it is that you have a leader card, and I noticed I didn't see this leader card in the deck. I'm looking around, like I'm moving my chair. I'm like, where the heck? I'm like, the leader cards look differently than like these normal cards, right? So I looked up a box opening. I'm like, this is not here. This is this one specific
Damn.
card you need to play the deck is not here. So I looked at my other and noticed there's like some certain things on like in the box opening. And I noticed like, wait a minute, I don't think this deck was sealed. What the heck? So I looked at the other because I bought three like pre-sealed decks. Um, so I opened one of them. Like I looked at both of them and they're both were sealed, right? And then so I was looking at like the card by card for this one specific deck, and that was the only thing missing was that one single card. No other card or like rule book or anything was missing. It was the weirdest thing. So I called up
That's
the card.
brutal.
Yeah. So I you know I hit up the card shop on my Telegram phone and they're like, "That's really weird." I'm like, "It is really weird." So they're like, "Oh, you can just come in and like grab the card." So I went in today, and I picked up the card and some other Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I finally got a magical android. Took me long
Oh,
enough.
nice.
And some
Very
other
important card for some older formats.
yeah, and some other like old format stuff because I was like, I might as well there. I might as well just pick up more crap. But the point being was that I was curious about the whole because we run or my local TCG like they run a speed duel local every week. It's like one of like the largest on the East Coast. Um, and like I was asking them about it. I'm like, hey, do you hear about like is it it's being like they're stopping speed duels? Like are you gonna like still continue to go on? And he's like, mother of God.
Yeah.
Um, I'm like, ooh, a Mirror Force, great card. Um, and so like, oh yeah, well, like they're still gonna run events. Like Konami, like apparently they're still running events. They're just not gonna make more product at the moment. And they're like, yeah, I mean, we're still gonna run our Speed Duel locals. So like, the game's still alive. Like it's still being ran. People are still doing stuff for it, both on an official and a like a smaller official status, which I thought
Yeah.
was like really cool.
And I think like too, you know, every game eventually ends, they say. Although chess has been going for a while, but part of what makes chess so enduring is that like
Yeah, it is 2 out
with
of
chess,
3 match. Yeah,
yeah, well, yeah, 2 out of 3 matches
it was
that
that
would be
before.
good.
What the heck?
Yeah, no,
Whatever.
occasionally it can be weird with this sort of stuff, um, but the thing about chess is that like there are no more product releases for chess. It's just like oh, you have one chessboard, all the pieces. It's fine, self-contained, so that makes it last longer.
That is
But
funny to think
I just bring
about.
up chess because games can last a very very long time. Like and if you think about it, if you look at a retro format, right? Like you don't necessarily need to like sure you need to buy a deck of cards and stuff, but once you have that deck of cards for a retro format, it never really like you've got all you need, right? You don't need product releases after that to do anything else, right? So, it could potentially last just forever in a way.
I think
Is it
that's
likely to? Maybe not, but
I mean, it's a pretty funny thing about like chess product releases. Like, oh, get
yeah.
the chess One Piece expansion. It lets you jump over like 3 extra spaces. But like at least with chess though, it's that like if you want, they have like ornate sets and like memorabilia sets. Like growing up, we had a Flintstones chess set, right? You can get one that's like super big and like made of mahogany wood. You can get one that's probably made out of balsa wood for all I know. And I'm like that stuff is kind of cool. Like you don't necessarily get that with Yu-Gi-Oh. I think there's things that they could do to like kind of work on that. Maybe release sets that include like play mats and like rubber play mats and stuff, not those like crappy paper ones. But I get it. Um, but like, I mean, clearly, like what their product strategy thus far is. I mean, it's still like roughly working. Like, sure, there's things they could probably do better, but I don't know. I don't have all their analytics. So there's only so much I can say. Like, oh, they need to make like better booster boxes or this or that. But at least like their structure to that game has really been improving. In regards to actually having like good cards in them or having them be fairly like meta relevant. What's
Oh
up,
yeah.
Elusive Mirror? I honestly believe we are at a point that if Yu-Gi-Oh got canceled completely by Konami tomorrow, we soon have a whole new ecosystem of community tournaments. Eventually, even new cards designed slash printed from the grassroots
100%.
level.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Um, and this actually reminds me of I was watching a video by oh no, uh, by TCG Rewind, who does mainly Tango Plant stuff, and that video. Oh no,
Bah, drill.
oh my rat. Oh, the drill coming in. But the video is basically about how uh, the Time Wizard events being taken over by Edison is not necessarily a good thing for the retro community as a whole because like then the whole discussion becomes about Edison instead of highlighting other formats. And as someone who works to highlight other formats myself, like I agree to some extent because it would be nice if those formats managed to sort of get more support and stuff like that, especially on an official level. But at the same time, like part of why Edison is so popular is because of grassroots community efforts to catapult it into the stratosphere like that. Like
Mhm.
if Konami was not doing the Ultimate Time Wizard events, you'd still be having like in-person RBETs. Same with like GOAT format, right? Like Konami's currently focusing on Edison right now, but GOAT format still has Grand Prix and things like that that people can go to and have fun at. So even without that official support from Konami, I think a lot of these retro communities still manage to thrive just through community efforts, and that I think is a very beautiful thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Honestly,
you look at my my recent uh in the zone with this guy talking about Dungeon Dice Monsters and Dungeon Dice Monsters community. Like you can't get more over than than Dungeon Dice Monsters. But you still have like people, even though it's not like a giant community, so like up there and try and make something work and really evolving the that specific game, not even a format, but like a whole game into something that's worth looking into.
yeah, and it really does show like the powers with the people. We have the power to make these events a thing and do them. So even if Yu-Gi-Oh eventually dies, as long as there is a selection of people who enjoy the game and want to keep playing it in some capacity, it will continue to be played. Konami be damned. Um, so yeah, I think that it is sort of I mean, maybe people enter this stream expecting doom and gloom, but I think that ultimately there's a hopeful message surrounding this. Uh, yeah, oh, that
Yep.
submarine roid getting in every turn. It's gonna be rough.
Yo, Clark
Um,
creates. What is up? Yeah, like I think it's easy to be glass half full about the whole thing, but it's like you gotta be glass whole full, right? Half water, half air.
mhm.
Um, like there's different because like there's so many people on the internet. It's like, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh is failing. This is dying, but like that's just like that is the water is wet argument, really. It's like, sure, I guess. I mean, to some degrees it is. Like every business is going to have their ups and downs, like naturally. That's just the way business goes, right? They have their lulls and they have to like recreate that hype. And it's always going to have their peaks and valleys. Like it's never going to be like a continuous like explosion. Even Pokemon has had their dark periods, but that's also Pokemon's also kind of a a different thing. Um, Whereas like Yu-Gi-Oh, like yeah, it does have some issues, but it's always been that way, and I think Konami has, say what you want about them steering the ship, they've at least kept the ship afloat, which is more than a lot of
Yeah.
other places can say.
Heavy Storm ain't real. Heavy Storm ain't real. I'm getting Book of Life next turn. I need those draws. But yeah, I think that Konami, for all that we, sort of rag on them for their terrible decisions, which, oh wait, Heavy Storm's gone. I don't need to worry about it. Okay, so yeah, Heavy Storm really isn't real. But for all we rag on them for their decisions, I do think that like, like they do a good enough job, and that's what matters in my opinion.
Is this a Mirror Force?
No, I wish. I think what I want to do here though is call the Haunted target Rat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some rich tycoon to help with the grassroots. I mean, that kind of what. I mean, it not necessarily happened, but like look at like MetaZoo. That's one that failed due to just basically incompetence, really.
Yeah. I mean, that was because they turned the game into just a crypto scheme, right? And
yeah.
Like, well, we don't want to play a crypto scheme. Like, well, too bad. You got a crypto scheme now.
I summon Logan Paul.
Yeah. Eventually we'll get that NFT trading card game I've been praying for.
Oh my.
I just wanna summon what is it like, smoking gorilla and beat down my opponent with my powerful NFTs.
I'm gonna attack directly with some Marine Roid.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
It does. Okay, original attack. Okay, and then he goes to defense.
Yeah, it's just to prevent any like OTK shenanigans where you just equip a bunch of stuff to it and then attack in.
Yeah. Clark Rates says, I feel like we're talking tournament level. I feel like if we're talking tournament level, it's very easy to justify the amazingly cheap $5 local entries with potential $10 cards and prize packs. My only concern remains convincing stores to buy. I mean, yeah, that's the main thing.
Yeah,
you got like, yeah, like you got to buy like from stores. That's where you get all these like booster boxes and stuff. And that's where Konami gets away with having these big chase cards. Like at my card shop, this week I was staring at that Dragon Master Magia, being like, why are you only quarter century rare? God, I want you, but I can't.
Yeah.
I'm
very frustrating.
I'm gonna exile.
Oh. Darn. My Book of Life is not as useful anymore. So get it back though. So maybe I'll be able to do something here. I need to ask just a random, totally not relevant question here. Does Zombie Master work the way it originally does in this format, where you get to pitch a card to hand and then, it checks? I'm pretty sure
believe
it
that way. Does.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it worked originally, and this is like close enough to when the form was originally. Oh, I actually, there's a ruling document I can look up, I think, that will have this.
Yeah, I feel like you are able to, but maybe it's worth.
I think so as well, but I don't want to just. Okay, so in May 22nd, 2008, which is after Phantom Darkness, so yeah, it indeed does work the way it originally did here. So I'm very sorry.
I hope you deck out.
Prio. Use Prio on it. Oh, it's only level 4. Wait, let me. So I guess I do have to have. I guess I won't pitch the Koki. Pitch Reaper instead.
Okay.
I think Zombie Master might pop the Reaper when the Reaper is summoned. No, I'm thinking Illblood. Zombie Master doesn't, I don't think. But Illblood does. Anyway, bring that back.
Oh my god.
Ooh,
Then you summon Slifer.
draw 3. Yeah,
Which
I mean, this is zombie Slifer done,
though I don't think Slifer is in the TCG at this point.
Unfortunately not.
I think it might
Yeah.
just be Obelisk.
I do get to attack over this Drillroid.
Well, you
I'm
got
really
your.
hoping you don't have a way to stop this.
I
Because,
don't, but you have card safe return. Well, I got my own. It's called Supercharge.
oh,
I wish
very,
it.
very cool card.
I wish it like add additional draws depending on how many roids. But hey, 2 cards is 2 cards.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because like normally you think, oh, that's just Pot of Greed, but actually it's like it's basically a 2-for-2 trade, or you spend 2 cards to draw 2 cards because realistically your opponent isn't going to attack into something that they can't clear, so that monster's dying no matter what, and so you're drawing 2 cards to replace 2 cards that you're losing, so it's like not as good, but you know it's still a fun card and definitely one of the advantages of playing Roids. But anyways, let's just set 2 and pass back to you.
Heavy's at 3 in
I'm
this
very
format,
sorry
right?
here.
Oh, yeah, hi.
What? Yeah, I'm pretty sure Heavy Storm is limited here. If it's not, that I'm in kind of a bad spot, but you know. Ooh,
Yeah, like most of the
that's
Roy
pretty
cards are honestly like really terrible. But like at the very least you can run like the good ones and make a Roy deck out of it, which is what I'm doing here.
yeah. I think Roids are honestly better than Neospatians, which sounds weird to say. Um, but you know, here we are. I support it. I think you were doing very well until I activated, you know, triple card of safe return and started summoning, you know.
Yeah, it's almost like I don't know. It is what it is.
I mean, yeah, I'm starting to see why this deck is a bit busted, but
is this just like safe return zombies?
it's yeah, because you got ill blood and stuff. So
Isn't that meta? Isn't that like
it hasn't won a tournament. It's topped only 1 tournament, so I don't think it's meta.
wasn't that like one of the best decks of like right before Light and Darkness Dragon?
It was one
zombies.
of the best decks of zombie format, but it hasn't really done any results in Perfect Circle. So I can switch out the deck though if you want.
It feels like a much higher tier than.
I thought this deck wasn't high tier because I think like the issue with it is that like if you don't draw the card safe returns, it's like pretty bad. And so yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna take 3 here. This is all according to plan. This is why I got Book of Life. Yeah, maybe this deck is very good. Stuff to say, but
yeah, in my opinion, Perfect Circle is kind of trash. I'm gonna run Perfect Circle.
No, Perfect Circle is like the best deck in the format. So this is like for some reason this deck has not done well at tournaments. So you know whether that be just people not being on it or if there's a deeper flaw with the deck. You know, I think it's a deeper flaw with the deck because like I do think it's sort of like you know you brick on things like you know Ryu Koki here. You can brick on that very easily. So you know it can be a bit awkward, but you know it can definitely also be
What are you
very
banishing?
good if it pops off.
Exile.
Banish the
Fair
exiled.
enough.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm gonna pitch this. Target the Reaper.
You what? Oh
1,
my
2,
god.
3.
I think I can deck you out.
Honestly, yeah, you might be able to.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like Clark says, like having incentive to people like for like new players to like buy cards. I think. Oh my god! Stop it!
How was it ever legal?
Because they didn't know. They didn't know. What creature swap? Oi, no.
Gotta have the creature swaps. Yeah, I don't think I kill you here though, but you know, I'll let you shrink this down if you want it.
Okay, I'm not selecting my target yet, but I do have a shrink. Because
Yeah.
like,
No, I know the shrink from the dust shoot. So
right, like I could get rid of the Reaper, which might be beneficial to not rip a card out of my hand.
yeah. And you're not dead here.
Yeah,
Not dead here.
yeah, I'm not gonna die this turn.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm gonna lose no matter what. Like I have nothing
Yeah,
worth in
I
my
will tell you
grave.
now, looking at my hand, I'm not sure how you win from this position. But
Okay, let's just
I'll switch up my deck. I thought this deck was worse than it was.
let's pop the Reaper. Yeah, like historically, this was like still like a.
Yeah, I think just in the modern metagame, they've sort of realized that it has some flaws. Like if you get the combo going, it's absurdly strong. But getting to that point is like fairly difficult. And like other decks like Perfect Circle Monarchs, like if you're bricking on stuff, Perfect Circle Monarchs will just eat you alive. It'll like shuffle back your bricks and do like a bunch of stuff like that. Anyway, I'm just gonna and then end turn. What do I pitch? I'm gonna pitch a nobleman, a turtle, and that's all I need to.
This is like top 10 anime betrayals.
I'll switch up my deck so that way it's a bit less good. But yeah, finding jank perfect circle lists it's tough. I was just scrubbing format library for anything that looked like, kind of not like standard or rogue or something like that. And yeah, this is what I found that I was like, oh, that seems fun. Doing some fun zombie combos. I'm sure this won't be that bad. But yeah.
Oh no, this was like my last line of defense.
Oh, yep, that would have been pretty good here. But yeah, so I'll switch out decks and then we'll play a different one. I apologize for that. I thought it was
You're killing me, Smalls.
I know. That's my bad. That's the first time that has happened though in our streams of doing this. Normally we've been pretty good at gauging the power level stuff. I'm just less experienced in Perfect Circle.
I don't know how much of this deck I actually like finish, but I guess we'll see.
Hey.
Yeah. Like, I think the fighting game community is like you always take a look at a lot of stuff where it's like at Evo, which I did spend a lot of my time this past week watching. Like look at all these games that like Killer Instinct, for example, it just got its like final update, but that game essentially has been over with for like quite some time. And then we freaking had Street Fighter 3 Third Strike at Evo. That game is like really freaking old. It like in a few months or so, like we're getting that Marvel vs. Capcom collection. So like you say, like Cap MVC2 won't be at Evo. And I feel like card games can be the same way, right? If people are like hype enough to like play around with it, and obviously there are distinct differences, right? One is a collectible card game, and the other one is a game that is like pure like pre-made, like this is what you're getting. Which there is an important difference there, but I do think like there's a lot you can look at, and also I feel like I'm parts of my channel I do model over like the FGC, because I am like a big like FGC head. That's one of like the inspiration for a lot of like styles and kind of things that I look towards.
And fighting games, I think like it is interesting because like people say, oh, it's a different sort of thing than Yu-Gi-Oh because Yu-Gi-Oh is a trading card game and fighting games are fighting games. So yeah. Sorry.
Negates the active. Okay, just negates the activation. So he goes back here, I believe.
I think it does.
Because you're not negating the sum. You're just negating the effect.
Just the effect. Yeah.
So if he's destroyed, then he goes down there.
Yeah. Very weird sort of situation, but yeah. I promise I did not know what deck you were bringing. This deck had Pulling the Rug in it, and it's like, okay, well, as a card.
I swear I'm not stream sniping.
I'm not stream sniping. I will say that much. But But Crystal Beast is very, very cool.
Yeah.
I love Crystal Beast in
They're
Purple
so
It's
cool.
so neat to see what the deck can do with so little support out there.
Yeah, like they get a lot like by this point. Yeah, I know TD's at 1 in this format. Like I did that video with Neshi like a year or two ago about like Crystal Beast, like when they first came out, like looking at an old like magazine, like a Pojo magazine or whatever, and seeing like a deck there, and just seeing what other people are like look at like kind of nowadays. The different ways to play it, which is kind of cool. Like you got like the DDT, like Crystal Abundance variation. We also got like the more controllative like Rainbow City kind of style, which is pretty cool too.
I will admit I'm very scared of Crystal Abundance coming up off of a Diamond Dude.
Got another Pulling the Rug.
How did you know?
Oh my god.
I mean, the thing is, I'm drawing these and not drawing any way to put pressure on you. So, there's that. But,
Sure.
yeah, it's definitely. I opened 2 Pulling the Rug and I was like, oh. I don't know if this will come up against whatever deck Janjo's playing.
Crystal Promise.
That is pretty good. What card are you targeting?
I have to Sapphire Pegasus. Like I don't have an option.
Which one?
I'm
gonna.
I don't. Does it?
I'm gonna MST
matter?
Whichever one you're targeting.
I don't think it matters, but
yeah.
All right.
I know you've got Call the Haunted somewhere, so
somewhere, but you do not know where.
That's true.
Rhoda's good.
Let's see if you've got a Pulling the Rug of your own, because I'm gonna
Stratos. Oh man.
Waha.
Yeah. You can do that.
I'm gonna search out. Who do I want to search out? I feel like I want to search out this guy.
Oh, is this Ocean Control?
Maybe.
Is Ocean Control trash in Perfect Circle?
It's not trash, but it's definitely rogue, especially the version that I'm playing.
Call target Pegasus. Solemn.
I'm just gonna stop that. Yeah.
You are just anti-metaing my entire.
Yeah. I got through like 3 categories.
I haven't used a single card.
I mean, to be fair, like that Dust Sheet gave me a lot of knowledge to just be like, okay, I use Pulling on these 2. I use Solemn on this. The Promise messed me up a little bit because I was initially planning on using that Solemn on your Diamond Dude. So I was like, I don't want any Crystal Abundance shenanigans going on or anything like that. But it ultimately worked out there.
Yeah.
Down 4,000.
Yeah. Clark, there are pendulum tiles and no, that's just what they have. I think there's like a classic mode, but just pretend that the pendulum things aren't even there.
Yeah, the classic mode just puts the pendulum zones out to the side. So, either way, the pendulum zones would exist on the board, but it doesn't matter for our purposes. Also, we have extra monster zones too. So
this is true. We got all the extra monster zones. I will normal Diamond Dude.
Are you using Prio?
No Prio.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I just like asking that because yeah. But
the mind games.
Oh yeah.
That's what the podcast should be called. Ben.
Yeah, mind
fucking with me.
The mind trading card game, or something like that.
Okay. I'm gonna activate something. Feather of a Phoenix.
Oh, so that way you put the Promise on top.
Yes.
Oh, or the Blessing on top.
Well, Blessing is useless.
Well, actually, that's be the Promise.
Yeah.
The Blessing wouldn't really do anything. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I don't like it, but it's fine.
And then I will activate Diamond Dude.
Yep.
Time to do my destiny, or whatever the hell he says.
Oh yeah.
That's
It's
time to
duding
do
time.
time to do my destiny.
Time to dude my destiny.
That is that is the worst catchphrase I could possibly think of.
That's the best catchphrase I can think of.
So I don't need
I'm
to.
not a creative person.
Diamond Dude doesn't need to stay on the field for it to like activate
does
next
not,
turn,
no.
right? Okay,
So
cool.
You'll be able to get it next turn, even after I attack over that. Which, spoiler alert, I will be attacking over that.
Destiny pizza time. Quick chat. Fish me out your dumb Destiny hero taglines.
Oh yeah. I'm in the diamond zone. Diamond. I don't know.
Like a diamond, this is rough.
Oh yeah, diamond in the rough.
I guess I will use Promise now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll use Pegasus Effect.
Yeah. And this is actually something that can't really be negated unless I have like Divine Wrath for the Pegasus, but like because the spell off Diamond Dude can't be negated. It's like a lingering thing. So and a special summon, so I couldn't pulling the rug this. So that means that
Destiny D's nuts.
Oh yeah, that's the real one.
Sounds like something my coworker would say. Every joke out of his mouth is like D's nuts. My victory was destined. Dude, I'm like totally about to show you a diamond destiny. Dimension the destiny.
Dimension the diamond. Dimension the destiny.
Diamond impact. What was like do I want to do Ruby Carbuncly, or do I want to do something more like progressively like aggressive, like a? I mean, I can't do anything with it, but like just maybe
it's tough. I think
because
Carbuncle's good to.
Yeah, because that's like the only thing you really want to do with Carbuncle is just get it down there. I suppose so.
Like the idea is that like, you know, if you like crash, or if you or I crash, like, you know, our guys together, right? Pegasus goes to your back row, and then if you manage to get Carbuncle up at any future time, then it brings out Pegasus, but then puts another thing in. So you can get weird loops going. Although I am your opponent, so I don't necessarily like, you know.
Yeah.
Generally with these sorts of things, I try and like
Carbuncle makes the most sense because other like I'd rather just draw into Tiger or like the other Mammoth.
Yeah, if you draw Promise, it's better to like have Tiger or something, but I think it is just better to draw into those other ones. So I think this makes sense for you.
Like I actually do play modern. I mean, modern isn't like a year or two ago. Like modern Crystal Beasts. Like I'm pretty sure that's the only modern deck I have built. I don't.
You can Diamond Dude into Crystal Bond or Crystal Promise.
Yeah, like I don't think it's Conclave Control, but like, dude, like it is like that deck is like it's so absurd. Like Golden Rule and Rainbow Bridge of I think it's Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it's so funny. I do love it. Like I think a lot of people don't like the format that a lot of modern decks take, but like Crystal Beast is just so cool in its modern incarnation. No.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's just it's really bad out here. I've drawn like the perfect sequence of like traps and stuff.
Perfect sequence and perfect circle. Diamond Dude retrain Wend. Honestly, yeah. Like Diamond Dude like Destinyers don't really get that much love. Like we got Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer, but that's kinda just tangential. Like it's just
do I thin out my deck or do I pop the Carbuncle? Oh, that's
I don't know, depends what you have.
I'm just gonna pop the Carbuncle. Get it out of here.
If only I had my blessing still.
Yeah, I feel like I want to shut off things like blessing or anything else that you might be able to use. Like could be bad for me. So
well,
I mean, this could be bad for me.
Well, it depends on your point of view, but
oh well, yeah, there it is.
I'll just get another one. Carbuncle's back. Back again.
Back again. Tell your friends.
Man, that was a crystal blessing. Oh,
yeah.
that really was
I
a
think
crystal
this thing-
blessing.
Oh, that's bad. I shouldn't have put the carbuncle in grave. I shouldn't have done it.
Oh, I mean, I can't do anything with it, but
Yeah.
like, I guess they'll be there.
That's true, but
Oh
you
my
get 'em in
god.
there, yeah. Actually, wait, you're dead on board.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I speak it and it exists.
Yeah, well, at least I get to show you something funny in the deck before I end.
I will go down with pride.
Yeah, but I'm gonna bounce this back, summon it out, and then I'm gonna add Captain Gold.
Ooh, I do like Captain. I really enjoy his. There's a gold rare print of him
Oh yeah.
in
It's
the
perfect
gold
for him.
2008 or 9, like one of like the early ones. Yeah, it's like the most perfect. That and like, um,
Yeah.
gold Wu Lord of Dark World.
Oh yeah. Does
Go-
Dusted Gold have a gold printing or no?
I
Also, I'm really sad Gold can't search out this.
don't
because
think
I would
so.
like to, but
I don't. I want to say no. I think Gold Sark has a gold rare.
Gold
Rip.
Star definitely deserves a gold rare, in my opinion.
I think it does. It might, because I believe it was in that first gold set. Alti Captain Gold. I mean, I wish I had I wish I had more alties. I don't have enough alties.
Yeah, Ultis are so pretty. I think it's the best rarity in my opinion.
Oh, it's
Maybe that's just
super
because I'm a
cool.
Yugi boomer, so I'm like, ooh, shiny cards from my childhood. I like those, but I think they're really nice. I think also, rare cards is going to be something that keeps the game going for quite some time because, I mean, people like their shiny cards, right? So, rare cards just fulfill that need. And even if no new cards come out, they'll be able to make some bank off of just printing new shiny old cards, I think.
Oh my
Maybe
god.
not, I don't know.
This is an ugly hand. Oh.
My hand is actually a lot better than it was last game. Although arguably my hand was really good last game because I got to counter everything. But I like hands that are more aggressive, and this is definitely one that lets me do a little bit more.
Yeah, it's my turn. Alti tree. I would love an Alti Treeborn. That is like one of like the prettiest Altis. There's definitely like an area of like Altis that are like absolutely like pretty. And I feel like there's a lot of good like 5Ds ones. It's like really sick looking.
Yeah, 5D's ultis. Oh, I love just synchro rarities. Like when you get rare synchros, they just look so pretty.
Yeah, while we're
Yeah,
talking about
vibe.
good things, I'd like to mention how inherently with no prize money expensive decks in meta, it actively incentivizes playing older formats despite disincentivizing buying new products. I mean, I guess it kind of depends on like what your whole, like what you enjoy about Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, people play Snake Eyes, like people are like willing to like buy this or try like different decks, like you mentioned earlier with like it was Ancient Gear.
Oh yeah, no Ancient Gear. That was hype to see that go that far. I think it's funny. And I think even like, some people complain about the Snake Eyes, Fiendsmith mirrors and stuff, but I think like having interaction, as long as there's interaction between the decks and like you can sort of play around a little bit what they're doing. I think it is somewhat fun, and I think deck building also is a major thing in advanced formats where it's like you don't necessarily know the best modern deck out there, so you tinker with it a little bit.
Yeah, and like and honestly, like there are formats where the cards are expensive. like
Yeah.
like buy some Amaryllis for Edison. Like be my guest. Donald
that deck,
Z. Yeah.
Yeah,
like it
Donny
just
boy.
some depends on the formats, and then you start jumping into like rarities and printings and conditions, and like and all of a sudden you can get in the weeds, right? Like, do
Yeah.
you want to buy like this this high rarity deck? Do you want to buy like decks that only have like their exact printing? Like, do you buy that magical android even though it's probably not worth it? I don't know. Maybe.
Magical Android's always worth it. I love Magical Android. Like, Duel's Genesis has a lot of nostalgia for me, and I just remember that card being so cool. Um,
Yeah, like I eventually just like I wanted to buy one like for such a long time. I just want my card shop, and I was able to like get it down to. I'm like, all right, sure, I'll bite.
I'm very scared of what might be coming.
Hmm.
It's gonna go Diamond Dude, Mill Abundance, wipe my board for my entire savings.
I mean, abundance would be useless though, because I don't even have any crystal beasts in the grave.
Yeah, you can send all my cards on field. The grave, right? It's just a board wipe.
I suppose.
But I guess you probably have better warriors in there that can do stuff.
Yeah, I guess we'll go for no prio.
Okay, that's fine.
Activate Feather of a Phoenix.
Oh! Oh no.
Discarding Democ for cost.
You mean targeting?
I think that's cost. Target abundance.
Yeah, you do pitch for cost. I think I have to do this. I can't let you do. I was willing to take the gamble, right? But I'm not willing to let you stack it. I gotta solve that, unfortunately.
Alrighty then.
You could go for the gamble here, anyways, and then mill abundance and make me look very silly.
I mean, I suppose I got nothing better to do than just attempt to mill.
Yeah.
For a normal spell. It's a Trunade. That kind of works, I suppose. Now the question is, do I crash into Donald Z?
That is the question.
Lead Lover says, yeah, the entry point for you guys always been whack for Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, yeah, like you look back at even Critter format, trying to get those like mirror forces. Like I was actually lucky. Like I got one, in 2000 just because I traded some Pokemon cards to a friend, and he's like, "All right, here you go." But like that Mirror Force didn't get a reprint for quite some time. Like it was years for that got a solid reprint.
And if you're talking about now, like if you want to get into the game just blind and you want to play the most competitive thing in the world, you have to shell out a lot of money for that deck, and also you've got to learn all the mechanics that go into it, all the combos that you have to do, and stuff like that. And it's
Hi,
just,
caramba.
Yeah. I was like, yes, crash into Donnie Z. Do it. Embrace the dark side. Embrace your diamond destiny. That's scary. I don't like that. I really do not like that. But I'm still in a pretty good spot, so I'll just go Guard Trooper. That's fine.
Prio.
Yeah, I'll choose Prio.
Okay. Yeah, like Yu-Gi-Oh was like easier to get into back then because the decks weren't like as maximized as they are now. But it's still like people wanted those cards, even like the anime cards, right? People wanted those like slightly even more just because they're like, oh, it's from the show. I want that like harpy lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm activating Skyscraper in case you've got a Democ lurking in the wings, brought back off Call of the Haunted.
Take that.
I'm not gonna mill because
okay.
I feel like if you do have the Call of the Haunted, you're waiting. There we go. Yeah.
Damn. I got kicked.
Yeah.
I was just
Ooh, the Destiny draw is pretty good. Oh, you drew 2 abundance. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I my opening hand was like all spells and Democ.
Yeah, my hand was really good to open up, honestly. It had a way to Stratos, but even if I didn't, like I top deck Rhoda for turn, but I had Don Toluga, I had Card Trooper, so like if I didn't draw the Rhoda, I just would have summoned out Card Trooper, milled 3, and attacked over whatever the set was. And I felt like that was a decent spot to be in. Because then I get another draw of Card Trooper and potentially get a way to get into Stratos. Once the deck gets into Stratos, it's just off to the races.
I mean, Ocean Control, I would still argue it is like still pretty good. I mean, you have like pretty much all the pieces you need.
Yeah, I think that's the part of the issue with like picking like more rogue or jank strategies for like Perfect Circle is that like the rogue or jank compared to Perfect Circle Monarch. But then like if you're up against like other decks, it's like, well, this deck's actually pretty good, If Perfect Circle Monarch was a thing, this deck would be
like
top tier.
Yeah, like DAT is a good deck, but then you start like being like, oh, let's make it a Crystal Beast thing, and it kind of changes game plan a bit. All of a sudden, it's kind of like two just random decks like mashed together. Like it kind of works, but it is a way
tricky. It like combining like occasionally it works out. Like in the latest Treasure format tournament, GBO combined Wrap Box and Hand Control, and it actually worked out really well. And it was like those have a lot of synergy that people didn't really necessarily realize as much beforehand. But
ooh, I got one more deck.
Okay, I'll this last deck I think might be pretty powerful, but I also it's also probably the most skill intensive deck in the that I sort of loaded up, so I'm not sure if it'll be powerful in my hands.
I don't think I fully maximize like this deck. I don't know if I even have like a sight. I mean, my freaking fusion deck is even like completed for this thing. But it doesn't look like yours is either.
I'm already running into the skill issues here. Well, let's do you draw Pitch Plasma?
Oh. And I was considering doing like because I have like a pure Destiny Hero deck too. Interesting.
This isn't pure Destiny Hero.
Oh. Oh, it's some like skill drain dumb.
No, it's like also a version of DDT, but a more combo oriented version. That's like I don't know how to play it. I definitely messed up by doing that, but it's fine. It's fine.
Let me read this card.
Ooh.
I will normal summon Cyber Valley.
Ooh, that's cool, yeah. That's all good for me. Are you going to attack him with it?
I don't think there's a point.
You're getting in for 0 damage.
I think I'll just have to end my turn. Cyber Valley girl. Oh, you know it.
Oh, yeah. I'm a Cyber Valley girl in a Cyber Valley world. I can't sing.
Oh, God.
That's why I normally don't sing.
Please never say that again. Blonde hair, white dragon. It's it's arguably white. Like the Cyber Dragons are arguably whiter than Blue Eyes White Dragon because Blue Eyes White Dragon is tends to be more of a blue hue to it.
Well, would you say that Cyber Valley is purple? Because I think the metal on the outside is covering up a purple underneath. If you look at like the mouth area,
it looks a little more purple. It's got like maybe like some of its inners are purple, but it kind of looks more of like a maybe like a tealish than anything else. Well, no time like the present, I guess. I'm gonna Heavy Storm.
That's pretty good.
An MST and a Mirror Force. All right.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Not gonna lie.
I'm gonna normal summon my other Cyber Valley and banish both of them to draw 2.
Yeah, that's fine. I thought you were gonna attack him with them, and I was very scared for a second. But luckily, not taking those attacks.
I think. Wait, what's? Yeah, they don't. Nothing contact fuses in this format. I don't think. No, yeah, everything has to be fusion summoned.
Contact fuse is actually is Chimera Tech in this format? It might be.
There's. Yeah, but it's. You have to like fusions. There's Over Dragon.
Oh, Over Dragon's in it.
Yeah.
Not Fortress.
No.
Okay. So yes, the only contact fusion is Neos and Glad Beast.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the purple is like inside. Because he's like those accents. Sometimes when he's feeling it, he goes hot pink.
Oh yeah. You can tell that by the sort of pinkish circles on the side,
I saw this funny Vsauce video. I don't know if you ever watch Vsauce. I saw a short he
Oh yeah,
had where he was talking about what neon brown
Neon
is.
Brown. Yeah. No, I saw that earlier too. I was like, oh yay, Vsauce Michael here.
And it's like
Um,
neon brown is essentially just non-existent because it's
yeah.
the opposite of
Unfortunately,
neon orange.
yeah, brown is knee off. Sad.
Knee off.
Sad stuff indeed. But, um, yeah. I think that's truly when Yu-Gi-Oh ends. Is when all the cards get turned knee off. That's when it ends.
Knee off. I also
I
am in
know,
Cyber Phoenix,
Yeah, that's good for me.
and I'll jump in for a whopping 1200.
I will take it.
I freaking hate like that goddamn like trooper deck of like early 2007 with like Cyber Phoenix and like Card Trooper and
I
stuff.
love
And,
that
and
deck.
you're just like no matter what I do, like you're gonna draw cards, and it's the most like absurd thing ever.
I love that deck. I know it is terrible to face, but I love it. It's just,
No,
because it's just like,
I really enjoy Trooper format. I think between like Troop Dupe and Demise OTK, it's just like it's probably like a good example of and at least for me anyway, like an enjoyable like OTK format. Like if there are different OTK decks and they both are doing different things and they still require like some level of strategy, like I think that's fun.
no, I agree. I like Trooper format. I think it's very neat. Ooh, that is.
So this
Nice.
isn't Destiny Heroes, but everything is so far Destiny Hero adjacent.
Yeah, it's like cause it's more of a combo oriented deck, so it's a bit weird. I think what I do here, it feels really bad, but I really don't want you to get that draw. But do I do it? I don't know if I do it. Maybe I just let you get the draw. No, I think I go. If I do that, that's not bad. Oh, this is a tough choice.
Haha, just where I want you. Lightning
I'm gonna
Vortex.
Lightning Vortex.
Yeah,
I
it
don't want you to
does
get the
not
draw.
target, so yeah, that works.
No, it does target this guy.
Phoenix Blade, is that legal? Yeah.
It is. It
Three.
just Stratos limited to one. That so it hit the power of Airblade, but Airblade's still around, kind of. You know, a little bit.
Airblade. Okay.
You know, I did this because if you got Cyber Dragon, you know, you summon out a Cyber Dragon, it can't get over Stratos, so forcing it to crash if you got it. But
Well,
I don't know if it's worth using Lightning Vortex on that monster, but you know, I did it. It is what it is. You know, what's done is done. And that
can I
traded with Kyber,
try?
Yep, that's
So
fine.
Cyber Dragon.
That is fine.
Followed up by a Trunade.
Oh no!
Oh yes.
I-
Oh yeah.
No!
Feel the power of my Cyber Dragon deck. Cyber Dragon's Cyber Blast attack, or whatever it is. Does the Cyber
Stratos
Dragon
win
have?
defense.
Was it? Wait, is it Evolution Burst or is that Cyber End Dragon's thing? That might be Cyber End Dragon's
It's
attack name.
Cyber End Dragon.
I feel like Cyber Dragon has an attack name.
It does. It's been referenced, I think, in the past. That's a great draw.
Cyber Nova
Ooh,
Shock.
oh.
That sounds like some sort of move. Cyber Nova. I
You
don't
know what?
know.
I'm gonna do it. This play is very bad, but it's very funny.
Oh no.
So you know that's what matters.
That's what
I'm gonna
matters.
Set one heavy storm my own backer to get that Phoenix Blade engraved. I'm gonna banish a Stratos and a Plasma.
Okay.
Add this Phoenix Blade back to hand.
Okay.
I'm gonna Dimension Fusion.
Okay.
You get your valleys back. So this is part of why this play is so bad.
But you can't summon Plasma though.
I can't summon Plasma now.
But you do get Stratos' effect off.
I do indeed. So I'm gonna grab
And
a
you
Diamond.
and you do get you can buff you can potentially use Sword of Crash.
Yes, I can.
Yu-Gi-Oh ended the day it made the second set after its first sets. No more priority was forced to be more valuable to the buyer than the last. Modern is a consequence of this. My caveman brain can't
Honestly,
read that word, but
that's a way of
yeah.
viewing it, right? Like it no longer became a sort of just fun thing that you do to, you know, play around with the things from the manga or the anime. It became like more of a corporate driven thing.
Yeah, but if you didn't do that, the game would get boring.
No, exactly. And I think that most of the best formats are after the first one, you know. Yeah, get back your cyber valleys. Oh, it's rough for me, but
Oh wait, I get.
it is what it is.
Oh, both players. Oh,
Yeah, you get to get
shnikes.
them back.
I
I'm going to equip the divine sword, and I'm going to monster gate.
oh, okay.
Let's go.
Excuse me. I
Much
think
rewarded.
I think our princess is in another castle here. What the heck? Hiya.
I'm just too rewarded. I'm just too goaded with the sauce.
I
I
am.
think that's just
I'm
what it
having the
is.
absolute worst luck this evening.
Banish
Ladies and gentlemen of the chat, you are seeing this firsthand.
that back this Phoenix Blade. Trying to think like in terms of winning the game. I think what I do here is I go. I haven't summoned yet, so I'm gonna tribute out a different dimension master here. Um, I'm going to pitch Phoenix Blade to special summon out this Dark Magician of Chaos.
Oh my
Um,
god. Oh no. Oh
and
no.
now with Dark Magician of Chaos,
Uh,
question is, do I get Monster Gate or Dim Fuse? I think I get Dim Fuse to hand.
does the Janjo play Yu-Gi-Oh or he stopped? Well, I'm playing it right now. Can't you see?
I feel like Dim Fuse. Okay, I'm gonna get Dim Fuse to hand. I'm going to pay 2,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have any more warriors. I'm gonna pay 2,000. Get out that Stratos yet again.
Oh my god.
Get a little
He's
sword
cooking.
here.
He's cooking.
I'm cooking. I'm cooking. And that plasma in hand. Trading that away.
Oh my god.
Dude,
Airblade.
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 That's what we're doing.
Old angry old man shakes hand at cloud,
I
screaming
think I do win
Airblade.
here with the vortex. So yeah, I'll just attack in for everything. And I don't know how it happened, but here we are. I thought I was losing that one.
Oh my god.
I thought I was losing that one for sure. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
I do not really
No.
have a side. My side deck apparently it's just all Cyber Dark cards. Even
I'll
though
be honest, I don't
have
think
I have a Cyber Dark deck. I don't know. Maybe I was just like thinking about it.
I don't think my side deck does anything against you really. I guess I could bring in. I'm not. I don't trust myself enough to tinker with the delicate balance of this deck. So, I'm just gonna. I'm not gonna touch it. I think I can't improve on this.
Oh my god. I mean, it's fun to see. It's fun to see the combos.
Yeah. I'm shocked I was able. That was wild. That was definitely a bit of a tricky thing to see. But I'm sorry. This hand's just too good. You're dead. It's just too good. It's well. Okay. Now. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Rhoda here
All right.
for Stratos. I'm gonna draw. Diamond Dude.
Okay.
Draw 2.
Yeah, I used my King Crimson Epitaph.
King Crimson. I can't really get anything like too crazy here, so I'm just gonna grab another Diamond
Yeah,
Dude.
this deck is the King Crimson of decks. Just don't explain it.
Oh yeah, I won't. I'm gonna equip double Phoenix Sword on this, so now it's at 2,400.
Now that is a double, dude.
Oh,
I
powerful.
actually do own Court of the Crimson King on vinyl, which is cool.
It's such a good record.
The coach, it's so good. Love that prog rock.
Yeah. Epitaph is my favorite song on it too. So I would sing it, but I think we've established earlier in the stream that my singing is not really that good. But
Cyber Dragons will be my epitaph. I'm pretty sure that's how the song goes, right?
I think that's how the song goes. It was very obscure at the time, but then Cyber Dragon came out and people were like, "Oh, I get it now."
When Yu-Gi-Oh ends, it should have the tagline like, "The time to duel is over," or like something like that.
Yeah, the last duel, you know,
The
like the
final
last dance
duel.
or something.
Time to
Yeah,
put
I
the
mean,
pharaoh
honestly,
back in the grave.
you, you look at Cyber Dragon, people are like, this is the end of the game. You know, Cyber Dragon changes so much. It's not the game we once knew. Just like when CED came out and the ban list came out, people were like, oh, it's the end of the game. You know, that's it. That's it for the game. Pack it all up. It's all over. Um, and then you got like later, and when Synchros came out, they're like, well, they're clearly just doing gimmicks now. The end of the game. It was nice while it lasted, but this changes the game completely. And then you got Xyz Monster, and they were like, wow, it's the end of the game. You know, I thought Frog FTK maybe would have been the end of the game, but no, this is actually it. The you know, sort of ranks. What's that? You know, weird stuff. No, the end of the game.
Okay.
And then you got like Dino Rabbit. And that's the end of the game. So many ends of the game.
And I like Dino Rabbit too.
Yeah, no, Dino Rabbit's fun. I think people have gone back to Dino Rabbit and been like, actually, this format's like pretty. You know, I don't hate it. I liked it a lot.
I'm gonna normal summon if Dueling Book let me a proto Cyber Dragon.
Oh no. Yeah. That's fun.
I'm gonna polymerization.
Ooh.
Okay.
One's not power bond. You know, I'm feeling good. One would be a bit scary.
2, 3.
Oh no.
4.
Oh, no.
5.
Okay, this is back to being
4.
scary again.
Chimera Tech. Over Dragon.
Okay, at least it only can attack my monsters. It can't
1,
attack
2,
me
3, 4, 5, 6.
So 4,000.
Yeah, 4,000.
That's a.
Is attack and defense? Yeah.
Yeah, attack and defense. Yeah. That is rough. That's scary. And then you probably got Overload Fusions coming as backup for this thing. Oh no. Oh no. It's a bit scary. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I can't kill you this turn, which is unfortunate. I would need like
1,600.
need like limiter removal plus something else.
Can you equip Mist Body to your opponent's monster? That'd be very funny. You bring a Chimera Tech, activate Mist Body on my monster. Can't be destroyed by battle. Use attack into it.
Oh my god!
Times. 5 times. That actually would be lethal. In this board state, that you get 5 attacks, and the strat remains on field. So I take 5 times 1,600.
The chat's saying you got Karibo in your hand.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. One way to find out. Just attack him.
I wish I could kill you this turn. That's unfortunate. It's like I wish a limit removal was like, oh, they need to make a limit removal retrain that triples the attack.
That'd be cool.
Is there any card that triples the attack of a card?
Not that I can think of. Not that I can think of. Maybe at some point in the game's history there was one, but yeah, there it goes. There it goes again.
Well, that's more than 16.
Yeah. Brought me down 16, which is pretty good.
Wait, did that only do 16 damage? 100 damage?
Yeah.
That feels like it should be like... wait.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying with like Mist Body, right? You prevent the opponent's monster from being destroyed, and then you just keep attacking into it, and so you win that way. But oh boy.
Ooh.
That's a draw. That's a draw right there.
What's dangerous to me? Let's see, you potentially have... You can't summon Plasma, but Democ could potentially be annoying.
I'm pretty sure you know I searched a Diamond Dude with the Stratos. That's also one piece of information for the call.
All right, chat, leaving it up to you. What number should
chat take the wheel?
Yeah, chat take the wheel.
Always scary.
Decide my destiny. Yeah, Yugioh probably add when we get to the decks that will cost $3,000 to play. That would be something. I mean, I feel like
people will
that's
still play it.
honestly,
unfortunately.
I think people would be like, "Oh my god, this is like this is a sign," or
Well,
like
so
1,000 like Konami is going out of their way.
so I will say like the $1,000 price tag on these cards and stuff. It's important to note that this is like designed by the secondary market basically. Um, so if it gets to a certain height, it's because people will pay that amount of money for that card, right? Um, and I mean that's kind of sad, but like it means that like
8.
if it is 3,000, that people are willing to pay that amount of money for it, and that's you know just how it is. It still keeps going because
Yeah, it
Plasma
can't be
become a
summoned.
summoner set. Hey, let's go.
The
Yeah,
mock is at 1 in this format.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I think that I mill 3 off this trooper.
I mean, I wouldn't have even picked 3. I would have. It was either gonna be 8 or 4.
I think it makes sense to not pick 3 there. Okay, so this guy's at 1,900. Not really a match for your guy there. But let's see. Is there anything else I can do here? Yep, yeah, not really. I'm gonna summon. I'm gonna summon Diamond Dude. Mill the top. Okay.
Reasoning.
I'll happily activate that next turn. Vortex here.
Oh no.
Yeah, the Vortex again. I think I pitch Magical Stone activation. I was really hoping that there'd be something here that I'd use with that, but I just don't think I could have gotten back D-draw, but like I don't think it would have worked out card wise. So I think that's fine.
If I revive Chimera Tech, his attack's at 0. Is that how that works, or is it?
Well, it must be fusion summoned, so you can't.
Well, he was fusion summoned.
No, but
originally.
it must be fusion summoned. So you can't summon this through a special summon from the graveyard. Yeah, it just has to be. It's one of those weird cards that can't bring it back after it comes out. Maybe because they didn't want to worry about ruling nightmares. Like, what would the original attack and defense of the card be if it worked that way? But
that's unfortunate. I guess I'll just set my hand and pass.
Okay, I was worried that you had like Overload Fusion, and we're just gonna be like, you fool, Overload Fusion, banish everything from grave, and bring out. Like,
look, I have to commit as hard as can. I had nothing but monsters. I'm like, I got to go for a big body. Like this deck, I mean, it's Cyber Dragons as like an archetype is not particularly good as a whole. It's more of it has good parts that are better in other decks.
The thing for you here is that you might deck me out.
Do
I even activate the reasoning?
Yeah, you don't have to activate it. I think that's kind of fascinating about Diamond Dude is that you can just activate the card like whenever during your main phase. It's not like at the beginning of your main phase or anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna use Diamond Dude again, just to mill this top card. I'll take it. That's great. That's superb. I'm gonna also use Card Trooper and mill 3.
Okay.
Okay, so this is 1,900 Card Trooper. I'm just gonna slam in.
Okay.
And then back to you. So I'm getting draw 2 next turn if I want it.
Oh my bloody god. I
like the look of that.
Ugh, you have no idea how bad it is.
I'm just gonna draw 2. It's pretty good. Can I? Do I not have? Oh my goodness, that's kind of wild. I don't have that. But I'm gonna go for remat target demock.
Oh no. Sure. Prio.
Yeah, I think it's a trigger effect, so I think I get it no matter what. But I don't even know if there's anything really I want to get. I mean, I guess it's Vortex.
All right. On the summon, I'm gonna activate TT.
Okay, I was a little bit worried about that, but I do get.
I'm sure you have.
Draw.
Yeah, I'm sure you're gonna have something. It doesn't take much to kill me at this point.
That actually might have been a very bad thing for me to do. Maybe I should not have done that. I'm in kind of an awkward spot now, actually. Um, good way to get out of this. I think the answer is no. I messed up. So
Oh my god.
yeah, I should not have gone
Oh.
D-Monk. I got too greedy.
This freaking deck. This freaking
You
deck.
get Overload Fusion?
No. I get all the cards I don't need. Which seems to be a running theme.
There you are. A little bit too late.
On activation, I'm gonna chain a card.
Okay. Get a peek. Get a peek at this hand.
Oh baby. Oh Dasher. Oh Plasma. Oh Donner and Cupid. I mean, potentially, I assume you're running Scapegoat for Plasma.
Who can say?
Dasher. I mean, it's like, take your pick.
Yeah, I mean I want you to pick for me. I don't know
I
what
know.
is best to send back.
I'm just talking about the like in the ether out. I feel like DD might be an issue because of Diamok, so I'm gonna pick the Dungeon Dice Monsters, Different Dimension Master.
I feel like that makes sense. Oh, this guy's gone too. The other back row.
Oh, sure. It's
okay. Well, I'm glad to get rid of that because I feel like that could have caused me problems.
yo. What is going on?
I feel like this is the perfect way to end the episode because we're just oh that's great. That's great. That's such a great draw. I love that draw so much. I love that draw so much. Wow, that's great. That's so great.
Oh my. Oh.
So great. You know, I think I actually did have a play on the previous turn, and I actually like greatly messed up. But the play is very funny, and I would not have thought of it. But realizing what my top deck was, I was like, I actually could have done this, and it would have worked out well for me here.
I wish I could do anything right now.
You can do something. I don't know, actually. we're in a similar boat here, you and I. Well, just gonna pitch this Dasher, pass back. See, what I realized last turn I could have done was I could have banished all the warriors in my grave to get double Phoenix Sword back to hand, and then have 7 cards at the end of the turn to then pitch Dasher, and then if I draw into a monster that I can special summon off of it, I could do that. But I was not big brain enough to think of that.
I'm crying. I'm absolutely crying right now.
This is classic Yu-Gi-Oh!
You have
that's the best draw I could have gotten. In fact, that's so good. I love that draw so much.
Chat's berating me for overcommitting, for over dragon.
You had to do it, chat.
I had to do it. Oh my! Please, for the I have a big deck. Come on, this is big deck energy. Give me something here.
I got a small deck, and I'm not getting what I need.
It's terrible.
All I need is like Dimension Fusion, and I just win the game on the spot.
Absolutely terrible.
Well, maybe not with that back row, but that's a card. That's a card.
Nothing still.
Nothing.
Where's all your monsters at?
5 cards left in deck.
Oh. Maybe.
This is peak continent.
Maybe.
I'm just saying that now. This is what Yu-Gi-Oh's all about, you know? Drawing unusable cards. The entirety of the game.
I still can't. Oh.
You can deck me out. That's a reasonable option. I think I do have win cons in the deck, but could potentially deck me out. That's not a win con.
Oh my
Not
god.
one of my win cons.
So bad. This is so bad. This is the end of Yu-Gi-Oh! When duels are just this.
Yeah, I mean, this is, Yu-Gi-Oh's over. Yu-Gi-Oh's dead. We killed it. With this video right here. The back and forth. I mean, I think there's been lots of points of interaction in this game. Really back and forth stuff here.
Can I win with this? I don't think so, but mate.
I believe in you. I think you can win. Overload Fusion 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, you can't ban it. There's no Cyber Dragon engrave. Oh. Oh no. That's rough for you.
Yeah,
Just
like
draw enough cards so you pitch
how
the
many
turn.
do I need for a Chimera? Like I would still need like all my monsters for a Chimera tech play.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, if you get a Cyber Dragon engrave and you've got Overload Fusion, you do kill me.
I mean,
Oh no.
I did draw into this, so I guess I can at least punch. It's some sort of
That
form of
does do
protection too.
something. Yeah.
It gets me closer. It gets me closer.
Let's go. I'm gonna start with a Tornade. And I'm really hoping the card I need is not the last card on my deck.
Oh,
thank goodness.
No,
Thank goodness I drew
no.
it.
Oh
Okay.
god, no.
Banish. Banish. 2 hand. Banish. Banish. 2 hand. I'm gonna just do this now. Pitching this guy. Get rid of that turtle. Dimension Fusion.
Oh
baby.
god, no.
Let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh my god.
What is the last card in my deck? Return.
A return.
I needed those.
Ugh.
Oh.
I drew into like Cyber Dragon, then Jinzo, then Heavy, then MST, the Machine Dupe, and Power Bond. I'm like, I can't do anything with any of these cards.
Yeah, well, you could Power Bond the Cyber Dragon and the Jinzo into a Chimera Tech.
I considered doing that, but I would lose if I Power
I had
Bonded.
Lightning Vortex, yeah. So
like I could, yeah. Well, I would die during my end phase anyway.
Oh, with Power Bond?
Or do they? Oh,
would,
no.
Yeah, because it would deal the damage.
Yeah, so like I would die. So like I literally like could not use Power Bond. I drew UFO Turtle. I'm like, that's still not enough.
Yeah, so the turn after you shuffled back DDM into my deck, I drew it, and I was like, if I'd done if I'd added 2 Phoenix Blades to hand,
I didn't.
Discarded Dasher.
I didn't even draw 2 my 2 Spice cards either.
Ooh, Attack Reflector unit. That's cool. And
This was my like useless Spice. I'm like, for my just gimmicky Cyber Dragon deck, I'm like, I need to run them. I'm not. I don't think I'm even. Yeah. Well, you have to run it.
Yeah. No. Well, I don't know. Maybe there's here.
I mean, yeah.
Well,
technically speaking, yeah, you don't have to, but if you want to like summon them.
Yeah. You got Overload Fusion, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got Future Fusion too, or?
I do. I just didn't draw.
You gotta go for the big play. Future Fusion, send every machine in your deck to the graveyard.
Yeah.
And then just overload for infinite attack.
I just was not drawing into anything.
Yeah, I mean, this was just the battle of bricking at the end of this game here. And it's like, unfortunately, I had like 8 cards left in deck. So, I'd be more likely that I drew into the cards that I needed before you drew into yours. But,
like I had
a wild way to end the game.
Like I had Limiter when I had Chimera Tech out, but I'm like, I still can't win, so like I might as well not use it because I could maybe survive more than a turn.
I think that makes sense because you didn't know that I had a way to clear the Chimera Tech there. So it's like, it's the one thing No, because I'd still have over I still have over 2,000 life points left, so I could
Yeah.
Dimension Fusion. Although I guess summoning the UFO turtle later would still kill. Well, it would cut me off of Dimension Fusion, but like, um, yeah, I think I'm still in a really good spot there.
That's it's so rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love like Speedle. I mean, I really like Speedles, and I hope that like you just end up at that point where like God forbid they do have to like stop for some whatever reason. Maybe it's external, maybe it's not. Where they're just like put out a quick message like, oh yeah, we're stopping after uh Infinite Forbidden. We'll be back eventually.
That'd be rough.
Um,
I mean, maybe if the
yeah,
forbidden part is the game is now forbidden,
the Forbidden
but
format.
Infinite makes it seem like it will go on forever. Um, but no matter where the game stops, as long as we can play it and have fun with it, have fun with our friends
Yep.
doing it, that's what matters, in my opinion.
Yeah, so I thought it was a really good discussion. If anyone wants to continue the discussion, let us know down in the comments of this video. So we can keep this rocking and rolling. And also, feel free to pitch us ideas for following weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Not next week, but the following week, I will be away. So in 2 weeks. So throwing that out there right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess any last thoughts regarding any of this?
I'm hoping Yu-Gi-Oh never dies. Everything dies eventually, but hopefully this one lasts for quite some time. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the future of the game is like while exploring the past. And even if it officially dies, I think that we'll still be able to play with everyone on the community, and that's what matters. So yeah. But let us know what you thought about the format of this as well down in the comments, because we're still deciding. So yeah, and we'll have to see. Your feedback will help us with that. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you all for joining the stream. And until next time, have a wonderful